It's all gone. Everything is gone. The pool, the brewery, the bar. Hamad's house is effed. This one is no better. Everyone's alive. That's what matters. Everyone's alive. Oh, God.
Absolutely. In France, Romania, Germany, the Netherlands, and Austria, farmers are angry. But where does this discontent come from, and why is it spreading in Europe? From roadblocks to tractor parades, farmers across the continent are demonstrating and calling on their governments for help. The reasons behind their anger vary from country to country. French farmers say they don't earn enough to make a living and are overwhelmed by regulatory standards. Above all, they're calling for simpler administrative measures, no new pesticide bans, and an end to increasing diesel prices for tractors. In Germany, farmers are protesting against increasing environmental controls, rising production costs, and soaring administrative pressure. In the Netherlands, Romania, and Austria, farmers are protesting against higher taxes and the EU's Green Deal, aimed at decarbonizing the economy. Finally, the influx of Ukrainian agricultural products into the EU since the lifting of custom duties in 2022 is another reason why European farmers are fed up. European ministers for the sector met in Brussels on January 24 to defuse the crisis. We'll keep you up to date with the situation on France 24.
Nobody in the United States wants to work on Donald Trump's farms, not even with salaries of over $20,000 a month for harvesting carrots and $10,000 a month for taking care of the cattle. And do you know why? Because he enforces 3 very strict rules. But if this caught your attention, like the video and comment where you're watching from, Donald Trump has just opened more than 2,000 job positions on his newly acquired rural properties. He has invested a huge amount of money in the agricultural sector and urgently needs workers. The salaries he's offering are truly impressive, but there are 3 main requirements to be eligible. First, you must not be in the United States illegally. Second, it is strictly prohibited to sell the car that he provides to each worker. The vehicle is for work-related transportation only. Third, laziness will not be tolerated under any circumstances. Donald Trump is making a bold move to completely transform the American agribusiness market. If you support this initiative from the former president and well-known businessman, give the video a like and...
Okay, so speak to practically any farmer, especially right here in Texas. They're going to tell you this fertilizer frustration that they have has been growing for years, but the war in Iran certainly making matters exponentially worse.
It's really tough out here right now. I know it's in the headlines, but it's a lot tougher than most people portray. I've been farming since 2004 on my own, and this is by far the hardest we've ever been hit.
The U.S. imports hundreds of thousands of tons of fertilizer from Africa and the Middle East. 49% of the world's urea exports, 30% of global ammonia exports are actually currently impacted right now by the Strait of Hormuz shutdown. Meantime, the American Farm Bureau shows fertilizer prices across the board jumping nearly 50%, while farm income is actually falling. At the same time, farmers and ranchers say they're being gouged. The Department of Justice is investigating whether a corporate cartel is controlling fertilizer prices, engaging in anti-competitive practices.
It's coming home to roost, these high input costs. We are seeing, and that doesn't take into account those farmers that just say, I'm done. I'm just going to quit while I still have a little equity, and I'm going to quit farming today.
At the end of the day, high fertilizer prices are threatening America's food supply as possible price gouging is passed on to us, the consumers.
Hey family, my name is Judith Ugo. Mega Texas farmers are angry, protesting. These farmers are protesting, demonstrating the reason for their anger. and their anger varies from countries to countries. For instance, Texas, they are frustrated because there is extremely heat, drought, rising production costs. Many of them say that they are struggling to stay profitable.
Yo, it's so hot in Poughkeepsie from this heat wave. This is what I heard when I came out.
I mean, how much more greedy can you really get? This man has been a billionaire for like 20 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, there's only 50 states in the United States and he owns land in 18 of those states. He's trying to control the agriculture, he's trying to control the food, he's trying to control the seed population, and nothing is for sale. That's that greedy shit. Nothing is for sale. You know what it is, 275,000 acres? This world is real deal backwards for the simple fact that there's homeless people right now. They can't even get themselves in a shelter. And my boy is stacking up on farmland, like, for what? He's gonna have a nice conversation with the creator when it's all said and done. When he's hanging in his towel, he's gonna have a nice convo with him. I'm already a multi-billionaire. Let me see how much I can stack it up more. In a perfect world, you already know what I'm gonna say. He will be creating infrastructures for people, communities for people, but you know, we don't live in a perfect world. To me, this is giving off control, that's all. He just wants control of everything. And the simple fact that ain't nothing for sale, but it's at his exposure, his leisure, that should tell you everything. Once this economy starts crashing, I really want to know what Bill Gates and all these other billionaires are about to do. We at the season finale of this.
It's Joe from Georgia. So this is news out of Texas. But folks, these are alarm bells ringing for the entire United States. And our government is not listening. Overnight, multiple farms in the state of Texas completely shut down. And the reason for this shutdown was because they have lost almost 100% of their workforce. Now, we know this is the result of the immigration raids and stricter enforcement, but the ripple effect is going to be felt all the way across this country. Now, you've got crops that are rotting in the fields. You have livestock that is not being attended to at all. And that takes a lot of personnel. And we're talking, so now we're getting every area of food to include meat. And the communities that surround these farms, those businesses and those people who depend on the income from these farms, it's creating disasters for small communities in Texas. Now, this is not stopping at Texas farms. This is going to end up all the way across America, especially in the breadbasket, the middle of the nation, because they have tons of immigrant help. But folks, the alarm bells are ringing. Your food on your plate is being affected. So you got to think about it. It won't be soon until either prices go ridiculously high or you just won't have any food to buy.
We're here. We are here at the FAFO stage. This is really bad. And if you appreciate my content, please engage with this video. I'm just going to read this to you. Multiple Texas farms shut down after almost 100% of workforce vanishes overnight. In a stunningly swift overnight change, some Texas farm operations had to shut down after losing virtually all of their workforce, an exodus triggered by the increase in immigration raids and increased enforcement. The ripple effects of these raids are the gift that keeps on giving and will be felt nationwide. Unpicked crops are now left unharvested. Livestock were left untended, and rural economies are on edge. The story isn't just a tale of woe for Texas farms. It's a warning for American agribusiness, food prices, and communities that keep food on our plates. I need you to share this with every Republican you know. And you don't even need to wait for their response. They just need to know what's happening. And this is part of my line of work. I deal with commercial farmers, including these small farmers, as clients, and I cannot tell you how this is the beginning of the complete collapse of our economy under this Project 2025 administration that doesn't know what they're doing. You talk about the immediate shuttering of farms, because this is actually what's happening with the food, with the harvests that are lying there completely rotting. That is a loss of food to local food distributors, local grocery stores, local restaurants, hospitals. They sell their harvests, all sorts of vegetables, to businesses within the state of Texas. This is where you can go into your local grocery store, and now you're going to see hardly any vegetables or fruit, depending on what they're growing, or a shortage of meat. This is what's going to happen. Now, all of the other industries that support farming, you've got local pesticide, herbicide, fertilizer suppliers that are just, their sales are going to plummet. These farmers aren't going to be purchasing that. You've got H-2A workers who are now gone, migrant workers who are now gone. They were paying taxes. Even if they didn't have social security numbers, they were given tax numbers, tax ID numbers. So now you got millions of dollars just poof, gone overnight from these Texas communities. You've got trucking companies that are hired to haul
The heat in the U.S. this year is terrible. Because of the extreme temperature, the roads start melting. And when water is poured on the street, it boils instantly. If water is poured on any metal outside, it turns into steam right away. Anything plastic left outside melts from the heat. And even iron pipes become so hot that girls use them instead of hair straighteners. In Arizona, rivers have dried up, and even sandals melt and stick to people's feet. This girl ordered a dish, but when it came out, she forgot it wasn't meant to be eaten with a spoon. The chef who worked hard on it noticed right away, and realized she had no idea it was supposed to be eaten with her hands. So he walked over and did his signature move to show her how it's done. Then he just stood there watching to make sure she was doing it right. Later, she ordered another plate, but when it arrived, he was shocked to see her using a spoon again. So he had to pull off his signature move all over again. But sadly, no one gave him a like. This ancient Chinese lock was so cleverly designed that even today's smartest thieves would struggle to open it. When you insert the key into the keyhole and push it to the right, the moment you rotate it downward, it gets stuck, making it seem impossible to unlock. That was exactly the point, to confuse thieves. The trick is to insert the key at an angle, but even after that, the lock still won't open. You have to bring the key back up, rotate it again, and push it all the way in. Only then will the lock finally open.
Oh my gosh! It's okay. Hey! Oh, man! Come on!
Holy shit!
I have never seen anything like this in my life. My God.
My God! Fuck! It went through the damn. Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Holy shit, dude!
पुरै असिनाले केबुलै भ्वाङ पार्थ्यो पोखरा पुरै अन्धकार हेर्नुहोस् है साथीहरू यो
This very well may be the worst flood Hunt has ever seen. The devastation is unbelievable. How these kids survived in any of these camps along the river is nothing short of a miracle. But I did. I grew up with this store. I've known. I've like I said, I've danced here. I've been here, sat by the fireplace in a rocking chair and drank a beer. The devastation. There are just no words.
U.S. farmers have been working without a safety net. The 2018 Farm Bill expired in September without a replacement in place, at least a long-term one, leaving farmers without much-needed economic assistance. Tell me how much this is needed and how closely you are watching this.
The disaster aid is the critical point in this bill for our farmers. We have the hurricane ravage, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. Florida got hit, twice. They haven't got any relief yet because there's no farm bill. It expired. So we need this, short term injection into the system to prop those farmers up and keep them in business. It's time to start working the fields for spring planting, and we need some predictability.
This used to be a program that was for 5 years. So you had predictability. And now it seems like Washington's kind of yanking you around.
You know, this is not unusual. I can't ever remember a farm bill being done on time. They're always late with them. That's just the way the system works. Why it's that way, it shouldn't be. We'll get a farm bill. It's not going to be in this vote, but it will be probably in the first quarter of the year after the new administration gets in. We'll hammer one out.
It's just been harder and harder and harder to find those people to work.
Bethany Gotts owns Quay's Farm in Mountain Home, but now with fewer workers, a lot of the manual labor is left up to her. She tells me she's tried hiring locally, but it's been difficult to find people willing to do the hard work.
Finding a legal American here that is going to work as hard as an immigrant is nearly impossible.
She even posted job openings on Facebook.
I had 7 people contact me about it, and when I sent them the description, I had no people respond.
She says hiring undocumented workers is not an option, with serious risks for both sides.
One, you're going to get fined. You have unfortunately, an employee living in fear. They could get picked up at any moment, and then you're without an employee.
To keep her farm running, Gotts is hiring high schoolers and is now looking into the federal H-2A visa program.
I have endeavored to spend $200,000 to build a small worker housing so that I can get H-2 workers next year.
Gotts hopes for long-term solutions that support both farmers and workers.
The misnomer that farmers exploit immigrants is just so sad to me because, like I said, my friends and neighbors, we love our workers. They're our family. And they want to work, and they will work hard. And there needs to be a path for these people in our country because our government has failed them. And it is failing, I feel, the farmers.
Family, thank you for watching my video. Remember to like and subscribe. See you in my next episode.